What's going on, folks? Welcome to ProFan Live, the ProFan Podcast Live. You see ProFan Talk, ProFan Podcast. I think what I'm going to do going forward is when I go live, I'm going to call it ProFan Podcast. So that way everybody knows that when I'm streaming live during the week, it'll be the ProFan Podcast. And then when I have my show every Thursday on A2D Radio, that's ProFan Talk. That's the name of the show. So I think that's the easiest way to kind of keep it separated and keep it organized and stuff like that. So just trying to make it easy for everybody and trying to do some things too. I got my Twitter Spaces open. Eventually, somebody will pop in, and if they don't, they don't. So it'll grow, but we still moving. We still moving. I put together some intro graphics real quick. Listen on Twitter Spaces, and then you got the my logos. I just added the live on there. I think that looks good. Didn't need to change much. I'm hoping to get some 3D stuff done with it. I did want to do a 3D treatment with it, but I just, really don't have enough time. So, but we'll see. We'll see. And let me see. I'm a little scratchy right here, but that 53-man roster, we got some things to talk about. We have got some things to talk about. So you've got so we are down to the 53-man roster. So we are already down to the cut. So it was some pretty interesting people that got cut. I was hoping a couple of them would make it. I was hoping Trey Sermons would make it. I was hoping that kid Nagata would make it, but it was we were dicing and slicing tonight. So, but it happens every year. It's no different. Let me give me a little bit more light going on right here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, give me a little bit more light in the building. There we go. Back up so you can see my eagle green. Gotta represent. Gotta represent the classic. But but yeah, man, we got down to the 53. Had a lot of cuts. Lots of cuts. And yeah, let's go down the list. Let's get where we started. Quarterbacks, you all knew what the deal was. Ian Book wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't ready. Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, and Tanner McKee. Pretty much that simple. No surprises there. A lot of people thought that Tanner McKee outplayed Marcus Mariota, and that's a valid argument. However, the $6 million that Marcus Mariota is getting, and the I guess the stamp of approval that he got from Sirianni, and I think he got that also from Howie Roseman, basically said he wasn't going nowhere. So you knew what the deal was with that. So I didn't think that would happen. And honestly, I think Mariota's going to be fine. I don't think he's going to. He had that bad second game. He had a bad game. Leave it at that. Tanner McKee did outplay him in the preseason. Ain't no if ands or but about that. Tanner McKee was just better in the preseason. But first game, Mariota didn't look too bad. I think he's the kind of guy that gets into his rhythm when he can run the ball. So I think that'll benefit us more during the season because you don't have to change so much in our offense if we got to put a sub in for whatever reason. Last year with Gardner Minshew played well, but you knew that it was just things that we could not do when he was in the game. Gardner Minshew couldn't run. That dude had no legs. When we played Dallas, if he wasn't throwing the ball, he had to scramble out. He looked like he was scrambling for his life. So, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Mariota will be fine. I have no. He'll be fine. I'm not even concerned about him. He had one because here's how I look at it. If we had a quarterback that, let's say, you may or may not have liked, and they had one good game. You're not going to base his potential on one good game. What you would say is, oh, he played in a preseason game, so that doesn't count towards regular season or whatever. So you can use that same logic. If Marcus Mariota, who is a veteran, he knows how to throw the ball. If he has one bad game, that's not an indictment of everything he may do in the regular season. But at the end of the day, let's hope we don't get there. Let's hope they can keep Jalen Hurts upright, and we won't have to worry about. The only reason we should see Marcus Mariota is if we are in mop-up duty. That simple. All right. Let's see. Running backs. You got Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, DeAndre Swift. No surprises there. We knew what the deal was. I was hoping that maybe Trey Sermons, they would find a spot for him, but 5 running backs is deep. That's real deep. So maybe Boston Scott's going to be a returner. That's the other thing too. I thought Trey Sermons would be a good special teamer, but we got our 3 right there. Rashad Penny is good, and I think people have forgotten how good he was. So we got 3 studs. Boston Scott is he's made himself a staple of Philadelphia football now. He will always be known as the Giant Killer. You know what I mean? So he's earned that spot, and he'll probably end up doing kick returns. Possibly. It depends on what. It depends on who else they might want to stick back there. So we'll see. But I hope Trey Sermons, I hope that kid gets picked up, because I've been waiting to see him. He went through a whole bunch of crap in San Francisco, and then it was just a situation where they couldn't get him on the field. And a couple times they did get him on the field, he made the most of it. But, I mean, we got a stacked deck, man. We got a stacked deck. So he's going to be hard-pressed to get some runtime other than, like, special teams. And you don't want to, you're not waiting around for somebody to get hurt, because that's essentially what would happen. So he'll get picked up by somebody. Let me see. Wide receivers, let's go down. Get on down. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Olamide Zacchaeus. Pretty much who we thought. I was hoping they would keep Joseph Nagata. You can't teach size. That was a big kid. He was what, 6'2", 6'3", 4.5 speed. He's about 220. He was a big wide receiver. He may have even been bigger than that. I know he's bigger than A.J. Brown. So, and I thought he had one of the better preseasons for the wide receivers. Last year was Deion Kane. We had Deion Kane back this year, but he just didn't pop like he did last year. He got hurt. So Nagata, he looked good. He looked real good. But it's a numbers game, and we got too many right now. I don't think Quez Watkins' job was ever in jeopardy, to be honest with you. Especially he gets nicked up, and then he really doesn't even play in the preseason. Zacchaeus got limited snaps. So anytime you got somebody like that and they're not even playing, unless Nagata came out and just totally blew everybody away, his spot, Quez Watkins' spot, was secured. He wasn't going nowhere. So it is what it is. Let me see. Yeah, Deion Kane is out of here. Devin Allen flashed as a kick returner, and that's about it. He didn't really do much else. If you remember last year, he had that one play where he took it over the top and scored that touchdown, and you saw his true speed. So maybe if he clears waivers, we'll bring him back on practice squad, because I think with a little bit more work, he could be a decent returner. I'm not sure about punt returner, but kick returner, he could be a pretty decent kick returner, because, again, if you got speed like that, you just got it. I'm not sure what his moves look like. I would have to go back and kind of look over some of his Oregon stuff. But you know he's got the speed, and you know he can take the top off of defense if he ever would get on the field. But he would be a one shot, a one trick pony. Are you going to trust him with the route tree? I don't know. He hasn't showed me much other than he can go run a go route like nobody's business. You know what I mean? He's Deshaun Jackson type fast, but he's not Deshaun Jackson type receiver. There's a difference. So, and Britton Covey was hurt all camp, so he didn't do jack. So, no more crash test Covey jokes. And I thought Devin Allen might have an opportunity because he showed off that last game. But even that, don't forget, he dropped the ball. So, Britton Covey, I just think he didn't do it. The fact that he got hurt really didn't help his chances. So, he really didn't do nothing in camp and had to let him go. So, on to our tight ends: Grant Calcaterra, Dallas Goedert, Albert. I wrote this down too. Albert Okwe Egbunam. We got him from Denver and Jack Stoll. I thought Jack Stoll might get cut, but apparently he's a really good blocker. Didn't really see much from him in camp. You're not going to really see too much from the tight ends. However, Albert O is a big boy. He is a big boy, about 255, 260, and runs a 4.4. Runs a 4.49. Anytime you running back speed at that size, we can find a way to use you. Now, that kind of makes the getting rid of what's his name? Was it Tyree Jackson? I thought they were going to try to keep Tyree Jackson because that kid was an athlete. He was fast. He was big. He was a basketball player. He was Antonio Gates looking. Just not as big as Antonio, but same type deal. Basketball player at tight end. I believe he played quarterback in college. Like, he was just an athlete. But now, getting Okwe Egbunam from Denver, now you got somebody that's as big, if not bigger, can probably block a little bit better, and is just straight out faster. So I think we got, as far as the skill set, we pretty much got the same thing. But I just think he got more snaps in. He did play for Denver, and I think he might be one of the ones that we're going to have to tip our hat to Howie at the end of the year, because I think this kid can make a splash if they give him the opportunity. But when you're in a situation like this, it all comes down to how quickly he's going to learn the playbook and if they want to use him. You know he got the skills. It's all about if they want to use him. So we'll see. But I like our tight end group. We got a good group. I like Jack Stoll. I like Calcaterra. I think Calcaterra is better than advertised. But Calcaterra don't run a 4.5. Jack Stoll don't run a 4.5. So let's find a way. We got the skill set up here. Let's find a way to use them. So that's going to be on Brian Johnson to see what they have. The kid's already got snaps, so you can look at him as a vet. He played. So we'll see. Offensive line, not too many surprises on the offensive line. I think they did Josh Sills a favor. They signed Josh Sills right after he was vindicated in his court case for the SA when he was in college. So I just think they did right by him because they had immediately he was put on the commissioner's exempt list. So the Eagles had to get rid of him like super quick, right? And as soon as he was vindicated in court, they brought him right back. Now, I don't know how much working out he was doing in the meantime, but he stepped right into camp and was doing his thing. So he must have been doing something in the meantime. So it wasn't like he was incarcerated or anything. So I'm sure he had plenty of time to work out and do all that kind of stuff. But I think the Eagles kind of did him a favor because they're going to cut him. He's got tape in the preseason. And with offensive linemen, he was here last year. So he might he might get picked up by somebody. We'll see how that goes. But other than that, our offensive lineman is set. We're good. I want to see better things from Jordan Mailata. I want to see Jordan Mailata make the Pro Bowl this year. He's got that type of talent, and this is the year for him to kind of come into his own and really establish himself as a staple left tackle in the league. So we'll see if he can do that. What's next? Edge rushers. We got 6 edge rushers: Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Patrick Johnson, Hassan Reddick, Nolan Smith, and Josh Sweat. We got a murderer's row at edge. We're good. We're damn good. With the situation with Hassan Reddick, I don't see, unless Howie gets something extraordinary, I really don't see anything. I don't see any reason to get rid of Derek Barnett. I don't see that at all, because we're going to need that depth, especially if Hassan Reddick's thumb is not where it needs to be. Because if you're on the thumb, it don't take much to hurt your thumb if it's already hurt. So I would imagine he's going to have some type of cast or brace or something. But he said he should be ready, so he got another week to rest. So I'll take him at his word. So it is what it is until I see otherwise. But we got our edge rushers are tight. No surprises at all. And let's just hope everybody's healthy. BG will be good. Nolan Smith, I'm ready to see him. I'm assuming that the shoulder thing was just a burner, like I said a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, rather. And that's not going to be a big deal. Right? So, we're good. D tackle. Another place where we got murderers row. Fletch, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojomo, Kentavious Street, Tuipulotu, and Milt Williams, man. People don't talk about Milt Williams enough. They just don't. Jalen Carter's getting all the shine this year in camp, rightfully so. But Milt Williams, I love it when we got players on our squad that nobody really says much about. Because that means they're going to slip through the cracks. And before you know it, team's going to have a problem. And based on the reports, Jalen Carter's already going to be a problem. Fletch Cox is still somebody to be reckoned with. Brandon Graham is still somebody to be reckoned with. Hopefully Jordan Davis can come into his own. The kid Moro Ojomo, he might be a diamond in the rough. Kentavious Street can ball. Tuipulotu. I say that wrong. Tuipulotu. I think it's Tuipulotu. But he's going to be tight too. But I think Milt Williams and Ojomo, they're going to show up this year. And it's one of them things. People know Milt Williams, but Milt Williams is not somebody that a team, your offense is going to game plan around. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Carter, you might have to game plan. Fletcher Cox, in his prime, teams were game planning. Milt Williams, he's not there yet. And this will be the year, this will be the last year that teams forget about Milt Williams. That's how good I think he's going to be this year. So, we're fire on our defensive line. We are straight fire. And of course, linebackers. Big question marks at linebacker. We got Christian Ellis, Nakobe Dean, and Zach Cunningham. Obviously, Zach Cunningham and Nakobe Dean are going to be our starters. Who else? Howie, who else you bringing in? We cannot keep just 3 linebackers on the roster. And before everybody jumps, off the cliff, I don't see that happening. I don't see the Eagles just keeping 3 linebackers. That makes 0 sense. You got different packages where you might need a 4th linebacker, depending on what you do. Now, Edmonds, the guy we got from Pittsburgh, the safety, he's big enough to where they can move him up to linebacker. Nolan Smith, they were playing him at off linebacker a couple times. So maybe they're trying to create those hybrids on defense. I don't know. I would rather have them bring in one or two more linebackers just to bolster the ranks, and we need somebody to play special teams. We lost some good special teamers a couple weeks ago, and we got to fill them spots because that, oof, we'll get to that a little bit later, but we need help on special teams. So I like what we got here. Christian Ellis is still my dark horse, but it looks like Zach Cunningham is going to start. We all knew Nakobe Dean was going to be that dude in the middle. So we'll see what they do. I think Zach and Dean are going to be really good. Christian Ellis is going to be a good backup, or when they have a 3 linebacker package. But we got to get some more people in to boost the ranks. What's the guy? Texans just released him. Christian Kirksey. Christian Kirksey's available. He's 30, but he's a solid vet. It would be more akin to what they did last year with Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph. Except, he's not 36. He's 30. So he still got some tread on our tires. If you want to roll the dice with somebody like that, we need somebody in there to boost those ranks. We need somebody in there for that. Man, and damn, Miles Jack just walking away really kind of messed our scene up. So let's see if we can get somebody else in the house. So we'll see. We still got time. Still, that's a week. 2 weeks is plenty of time for Howie to do some things. So we'll see. Cornerback Eli Ricks. Let's go. Go down. Cornerbacks: James Bradbury, Mario Goodrich, Josh Jobe, Avante Maddox, Eli Ricks, Kelly Ringo, and Darius Big Play Slay. We are solid in our backfield with our cornerbacks. Eli Ricks came out of nowhere, free agent from last year, bald, and just let his presence be known. I thought it was kind of surprising that we got rid of Kayvon Wallace, but I think Eli Ricks just outplayed everybody at that position in camp. And Kayvon Wallace had a good camp. Don't get it twisted. Kayvon Wallace had a damn good camp. But Eli Ricks he was next level. And that's the kind of thing that you have to do as an undrafted player when you get on somebody's squad. You got to show out. You got to take it to the next level. Because sometimes, even if you're that much better than somebody that was drafted, a lot of teams are more apt to keep that drafted player because they've already invested the money in them. So you got to go above and beyond. Been there, done that. I was a rookie free agent, and I believe the Eagles had Tony Brooks from Notre Dame, drafted, and Saran Stacy from Alabama, drafted. Both of those high draft picks, and it was myself and Vaughn Hebron, both undrafted free agents, both at running back, and we both made the team. So we put it down a way where couldn't nobody deny us that we should have been in there. So you got to do that. And that's what Eli Ricks did. Eli Ricks just balled out, let everybody know where he was supposed to be, that he was the dude that was in there looking good. So we're straight from that aspect of it. So Keely Ringo's still a rookie. He's going to take some seasoning. He needs to sit back in that film room and watch. He needs to watch Slay, Bradbury, and Josh Jobe and get him in there. We got rid of the Josiah Scott experience. He got cut. Yeah, and it was like I said, Kayvon had a good camp, and I think it was really between Kayvon Wallace and Josh Jobe, and I think Josh Jobe was solid. But Eli came out of nowhere and just took that last spot. So, but we're solid in secondary. No bones about that. At safety, like I was saying, you got Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Terrell Edmonds, and Justin Evans. I think what they're doing now with linebacker, if we don't sign it any more, I'm not even going to say that. We are going to sign more linebackers. However, Terrell Edmonds, they can bring him up to play linebacker. They were going to move Nolan Smith back, and they can bring Terrell Edmonds up from safety to have him be a hybrid linebacker. He's big enough to do it. He's done it before. So that is an option that we have. But Reed Blankenship, I think Sidney Brown. I don't know if Sidney Brown is going to start week 1, but if he doesn't, he will probably be starting by the end of the year. He looked that good in camp. So Justin Evans has been solid. Missed 3 seasons because of injury, and he's still balling. That's called stick-to-itiveness. And props to that dude for making the squad and making himself known, man. Our safety, our whole secondary is tight. We're good. And that was the one position we had question marks for. Safety and linebacker. Still got question marks at linebacker, but our safety room is tight. Our whole secondary is good. So we'll see what's going on with that. And then lastly, and I mentioned this earlier, Lord have mercy, special teams. Special teams. We don't have a kicker. No, I'm going to take that back. We don't have a punter. Jake Elliott is money. He ain't going nowhere. But we need a punter. So I would imagine Howard's going to have a couple people in the next couple days, and we'll get one signed. And I guess Tanner or Mariota, probably be Tanner McKee will be the somebody got to be the holder. I don't know if the punter's going to be the holder. I don't know how that works. So, but we'll see. Like I said, we got our kicker. We just got to get somebody to kick the ball. Our special teams was god awful last year. We almost got burnt a couple times, and we did get burned in the Super Bowl. And it's just like, oh my God, can we just? I hate that. We got it. We got to get better. Michael Clay, you got a lot of pressure on you this year, brother, because you got some. I won't even say you got. You don't have big shoes to fill. You got a hill to climb. Let me say it like that. Because our special teams last year was hot garbage. So we got to be better in special teams. I don't know who's going to be returning punts. I'm guessing it'll be Boston Scott. But I wouldn't mind seeing Zacchaeus back there. I would like a little bit more explosive speed. Not that Boston Scott's got some good moves, but I need my top speed for my returners to be a little bit higher. So, but Boston's a solid returner, but I'm not expecting him to take one to the house. Zacchaeus can take one to the house. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Like again, we got some time to figure out, and not for nothing, I've said this before. Rashad Penny was a nasty returner in college. He was straight nasty. Now I did not see him do punt returns, but his kick returns was head turners. He had explosive speed. He was probably a little bit lighter, and he did some things in the kick return game. So that's an option that we have. Probably won't use them, but I think our biggest issue is punt returner and punter. So I was never crazy about Crash Test Covey, but his time was up. And they might try to keep it. Well, I don't think they can keep him because he was on the active roster. So can he go back to practice squad? I'm not sure. So we'll see. And then you see the guys that got released. Devin Allen. I thought Devin Allen might have a shot, but again, he didn't do nothing as a receiver. He just flashed that game as a kick returner after he dropped the ball, because that could have been ugly too. Quentin Bell. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these linebackers gets called back, because we need somebody. We gotta get some people on special teams, man. Kennedy Brooks just did not have a good. He's putting the ball on the ground. That's the fastest way to get promoted to fan, is put the ball on the ground. Ian Book, he's just not an NFL quarterback in my opinion. Cooper, Covey, Mekhi Gardner. Mekhi Gardner's going to get picked up somewhere. Hazelwood, Taron Jackson, no. Tyree Jackson's definitely going to get caught up somewhere. Kyron Johnson, didn't really see much of him. Johnny King, didn't really see much of him. Tyreek Maddox Williams, he might be somebody that we might bring back. We'll have to wait and see because there's a lot of things that can happen before the week's over with. Because you got to see all of these people and Nick Moreau. I was thinking Nicholas Moreau was a good signing, and I guess not. And again, maybe after he clears waivers, if he clears waivers, we can bring him back at probably a lower price. But I don't think they were paying him that much money anyways. Joseph Nagata, ugh, I love that size. I love that size. And I wish we could have found a way to keep him. However, now we got another huge tight end at 4.4 speed at his size. You can put him outside and see what he can do. I don't know. Janarius Robinson, Tyrese Robinson, Brady Russell, Sakapolu, Caleb Sanders, Josiah Scott. Yeah, Josiah Scott did get better last year, but the first half when he had to cover because of injuries, that was not that was bad for business. But and then of course Josh Sills and Aaron Sipos, Freddie Swain, Ben Van Sumeren. I kept seeing his name in camp, but he really didn't do much. Kayvon Wallace and Greg Ward were the big ones. Greg Ward balled out. He had a good camp too, but it was more like he was the Marcus Mariota whisperer. So, but that was kind of surprising. Nagata and I thought Nagata or Greg Ward would have been kept, and I was leaning towards Greg Ward because he's a vet now and he's got the experience. So, but you know, if these guys clear waivers, that might be somebody we might pick up during the season. So you never know. Trey Sermons, hopefully he gets picked up. Tyreek Cleveland, he'll probably get picked up. And yeah, there you have it. So right now, my biggest issue is our daggone special teams, man. Special team and linebackers. We have got to get at least one or two more linebackers in here. If you're going to bring Edmonds down or move Nolan Smith back, I don't like doing that because they did that with Hassan Reddick. Put the boy where you drafted him to play. If you drafted him because Nolan Smith was coming off that edge with that 4.3 speed, put him on the edge so he can come off with that 4.3 speed. That's why you got him. Don't have him doing something different now. Put him where he was most successful. That's why you drafted him. That's what made you take notice. So, and I'm saying that hoping that won't happen, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the coaching staff has in their sleeve. Where they're going to put these pieces on the board because we got some things to do. We definitely got some things to do. And we got to get some more guys in here. But the big thing, linebackers and special teams. We got to have those together. And also the big thing that I say every year now because of these crazy camps, we got to be solid at tackling. You got to be solid at tackling. If you go back and look at some of our games last year, our tackling and our special teams were just hot garbage. It was terrible. You look at that San Francisco game when CMC was just running over folks. Terrible. Marcus Epps comes in with his head down, trying to be a big hitter. He made the hit, but CMC is an elite running back. He did what running backs do. You get low, but keep your head up and keep your legs moving. And because you have your head up, you keep your balance, try to right on to the end zone. So we have got to be better at tackling. Everybody's going to have that problem now because nobody does it too much in camp. So everybody's going to struggle in the beginning, but the team that gets it together first is going to have that advantage going forward. So we have to be able to tackle. Please, please, please. Your tackling has got to be on point or we're going to look stupid. So, but that's it, man. So we're in a good spot. Let's get them linebackers in here. Let's get a punter. And everybody can breathe a little bit easier. So I'm about to get out of here as usual. make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button. I appreciate you. I usually don't see too many people in here, but that's cool. This is going to grow because I'm getting more people from the left coast. That's why I start so late now. So now you got a little bit more time to jump on the mic, jump on the computer. You know, it's 10:30 here. What time is it? It's going on. It's just after 11. So it's just after 8 o'clock on the West Coast. So hopefully some of them people in Utah and Hawaii, um, down in Texas, hopefully some of those people can join in the future. But we're going to keep this thing going. The Pro Fan Podcast live every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. We're going to make it happen. If I got to go later, I might go later just so I can get that West Coast audience. So we'll see how it goes, but we're going to start at 10:30 for right now. And didn't have nobody in the Twitter space today. Last time I had somebody ask me some questions on Twitter space, and I just put it next to the microphone, and it's basically like a call-in show. So, but we'll keep it going. We'll get better. But I appreciate you. Again, please hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna do this again next week, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. And you can also see me Thursday mornings on Morning Coffee. rvntelevision.com/live. That's where you can find me with Joe Silva and Justin. And I'm usually on from 7:30 to 8, just kind of giving you a brief recap of what's going on in the week of sports. And then, as usual, every Thursday night on the mothership, A2D Radio, Pro Fan Talk, we coming at you. So you got me in 3 places, and we're going to keep this thing moving. Going to get it out there. Tell your friends. Thank you for joining me. If you jumped in and was listening for a bit, I appreciate you. So we're going to do this again next week. Go Birds.